Hey, welcome to Daily Story, where you get a story every day. Now, I want to go back in time to when I was actually 10 years old. When I was 10 years old, I had a big, bulky sketchbook. We didn't have the pads where we can actually just draw our fingers. No, we had a big ass book that was labeled called a sketchbook, and you'll open it up, grab the nearest pencil, and you were drawing it. And when I was drawing a sketchbook, I would usually draw kind of these generic pictures. There'll either be these characters in these weird fighting poses like ha and ha, and everyone can also remember the Dragon Ball Z poses where they got their hands saying like this, kind of like so. Yes, like that. I think I'll end up drawing those poses, and sometimes I'll end up drawing some generic anime characters because at the time, American cartoon makers just really flooded the entire airwaves with anime influenced cartoons. One thing you could always count on Hollywood to do is that when they spot a trend, they jump on it and they jump on it hard. And that's exactly what the 2000s was basically is. Anime influenced cartoons. And did we kids complain? No, we went crazy over that shit. And you know what? We enjoyed every minute of it. But basically, I would draw in this sketchbook, and I would just keep drawing almost every single day. There wouldn't be a day where I wouldn't be drawing. I would just keep drawing and drawing and drawing and drawing, and I really, really could not stop. But then things kind of took a little bit of a different turn when I was actually turning around 11 to 12. So 11 to 12, that's around puberty started to start. And as we all know what happens in puberty, you start seeing things in a whole new way. And such things in a whole new way was that my characters that I drew would start looking a bit more suggestive sexually. But no, really, they will actually start looking a bit more, yeah, sexual. So as I was saying, I usually start drawing some girls and one of my sketchbooks, and basically it would be like this woman, and she like these big fucking giant tits, and it'd be like she had like this weird leather uniform, and sometimes I would draw these characters without any clothes on, and they would actually have the only thing they would actually have is this leather thing that's actually covering like their nipple, and I actually have like a little plate that actually covered their vagina. So basically, the drawings that I made as a 12-year-old will actually make Dead and Alive seem like church wearing outfits. But basically, I remember one time during that phase is that my aunt wanted to see my sketchbook, and I gave it to her. And basically, I that was a sketchbook with all the generic draw characters in it, and the fighting poses, and the regular characters. But I also kind of forgot about me having those sexually suggestive characters actually in that sketchbook. And when she walked back to hand me back the sketchbook, she had this concerned look in her eyes. And I believe that ever since that day, my aunt has never looked at me the same way again. But then again, that's kind of what happens because you draw stupid things and you make even stupider decisions. But then things even took a different turn. So one question we want to ask is that how do kids come in contact with porn? Of course, through another kid. And basically, the kid that actually gave me contact into porn would happen to be my cousin. Let's call him Cousin Jay. So Cousin Jay, he said, "Hey, Evan, do you want to see something cool?" And me being a 12-year-old self and very naive, I'd be like, "Yeah, cool! That'd be awesome!" So basically, he actually showed me porn, and I said like, "Wow, this is amazing! I've never seen anything like this." And so basically, after actually watching the porn videos and actually later on learning how to actually use porn the right way, which was turn it off, basically one thing I actually learned was porn vision. So every time I'd be walking in the middle of a street, it'd be a residential area, my spidey sense was tingling, but like, I see porn magazine somewhere. And then I looked down, and there it was. It was a porn magazine. Right there in my hands. Sometimes I even come across porn DVDs. And I even develop a sense of porn radar. My brother actually At the time, he hid a porn DVD in between a library of books. So, yes, my porn radar was developed, and it got even stronger with that as well. But things even took an even more different turn when I was actually starting to get a cell phone. My mom gave me a cell phone around the time I was 12, when I was around 12 or 13. And basically she says like, well, I'm giving you this phone so you can always be in contact with me. And I said, you know what, Mom, I will definitely use this phone. But then I realized that when I looked at other people's phones, mine was starting to suck. Now, mind you, this was actually around 2004 or 2003. So yeah, cell phones kind of suck back then. Your phone had applications, they still kind of suck back then. I mean, the only cell phone game that we actually remember playing on our cell phones was this block at the very bottom. You have this ball, and the ball would go up. It had to hit these blocks at the top. It was like boom, and hit it. And it comes right down, and did it, and did it, and you had to make sure that you had like a really great cell phone, or if you found like a cell phone that was actually able to have that game where you can actually get power ups, that was the cell phone you want. Because all the other cell phones, they usually have the game where it goes like boom and boom, and it was pretty standard. If you had the game where you had the block that was going up and down and there was no power ups, that's how you knew your phone kind of sucked. But moreover towards that, these were the cell phones that you couldn't even, listen to a clear music. If you want to listen to the newest rap single, you had to listen to 8-beat tone like boop, 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 boop. Yep, they even had chords. Chords? What's that? I don't know what that is. Bass melody? This cell phone never heard of it. Nope, if you wanted to hear your cell phone music, you had to put up it with 8-bit tones. And those were the days for the game soundtrack fanatics. But moreover to that, I would actually use that phone and I would actually end up looking at porn. And basically, the pictures were a little bit grainy, but I still can make it out. And this will actually continue onward throughout the rest of my adolescence, where I actually had a laptop. And this will actually continue even towards the point where I actually started having really successful, will actually end up having some relationships of my own with women in my life. And one of the things I realized is that even up to the point when I was 22 was that most people say that, oh, if you get a girlfriend, then you don't have to worry about masturbation. And that's not really true at all. Because what really happened was that, for me, was that even though I was masturbating less, I was actually replacing masturbation with sex. So basically, what would actually end up happening was I would actually, of all those times where I would be spent having uh, masturbating to porn, I will actually end up having sex with my girlfriend. And basically, even in addition to just having sex, I'll actually still end up masturbating to porn. So even then, it was just as bad. So that's what I realized is that yes, I do have a problem with this. I do have a problem with using internet porn, and I have to find a new way to actually get rid of that. So for about 6 months, I've been trying many different ways to get rid of porn out of my life, and I have actually done a lot of strategies. I've actually have been using this pain therapy, where every time I would actually am masturbating porn, I would try to put myself through pain, negative reinforcement. That did not work that much. I put some money down on it and say like, well, if I masturbate this time, then I will have to put money and pay for it. That did not work as well. I even told my family I'm involved with a social circle, and the truth of the matter is that I am actually running out of options right now, and I don't really know what to do next. And I guess the one comforting thought is that I know why I do it. Now, there's a scientific reason. I basically have formed these narrow pathways ever since I was 12. And when you're 12 or around that age, your body's supposed to be figuring out, well, how do I make love, or how do I actually mate with the opposite sex? And instead of actually actually made them the opposite sex, I would actually end up being masturbating porn. So now my neural pathways are kind of like forged in a way where it thinks that, oh, if you masturbate to porn, then in some way you're actually mating when you're really not. But I think another reason why I do it is because I was actually depressed. I noticed that whenever I feel that my life is stagnant or not going anywhere, I would actually end up masturbating porn. But whenever I'm actually out and about, I'm going on an adventure, or I'm traveling across country or riding a bike across cities, that's when I would not be masturbating well. And whenever I'm just busy taking care of things, I would actually end up. It would be the furthest thing from my mind. So the reason why I'm actually telling you this story is because I understand that right at the moment right now I have to be able to connect with people. I have to be able to actually connect with you and be able to tell you about why I'm I cannot have porn in my life anymore. And one thing I actually noticed that if I don't really get rid of this problem, if I don't get rid of this it's not it's not just porn, it's also a masturbation problem, but if I don't get rid of this problem off my back, then I'm not gonna get a chance to actually live my life. And that is why starting on April 1st, I'm going to be celibate for an entire year. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. You're thinking that this is an April Fool's joke, and it's not. It just so happens that the first day of my celibacy just so happens to fall on April Fool's. So, anyway, this has been the Daily Story, and I'm glad you sat down and watch it. Wait till tomorrow to get your new fix. Until then, good day.